Welcome to Relation Tales. Please like this video and subscribe Relation Tales. We're grateful for each and every one of you. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let's begin. The sky was bruised violet the evening Dana pulled into the driveway, headlights cutting through the mist that clung to the air like secrets left unspoken. Inside, Benjamin had already set the table. Roasted rosemary lamb, glazed carrots, crushed garlic potatoes. Her favorite wine sat breathing on the counter, but she didn't glance at it. She walked in, murmured a faint hey, and sank in her phone like it offered more comfort than the man she'd shared her life with for 7 years. Benjamin watched from across the room. Every Friday, this was their thing. Or at least, it used to be. That slow unwinding after a brutal work week. The food, the wine, the shared silence that once felt intimate but now felt like a cliff's edge. "Something funny?" he asked as she cracked a smile, thumb dancing over the screen. She hesitated, flicked her gaze up. Oh no, just texting Sam. Sam, her co-worker, the one who seemed to be in every conversation lately. Benjamin clenched the carving knife a little harder than necessary, forced a grin. "Cool. How's the office?" She shrugged. "Dead. Same crap." Dinner passed with the kind of hollowed-out small talk that made even the silverware sound loud. Her eyes flicked to the clock every few minutes, then back to her phone. At 8:22 p.m., she finally stood and muttered, "I think I'm gonna head out. Sam's hosting a thing. Just a few people. Won't be late." "You're going now?" Benjamin asked, staring at his untouched plate. She nodded, already sliding her keys into her purse. "Yeah, I need a breather." "A breather from what?" "Exactly," he said quietly. She paused at the door. "Don't start, Ben. I just want one night that doesn't feel like we're pretending everything's okay. And running to your co-worker's party is how you do that." Her shoulders stiffened. "You're being paranoid." He stood now too, slowly. "Maybe. Or maybe I just know what it looks like when someone's already left you in their mind." She laughed, but it wasn't light. It was hollow. "God, you're dramatic." "Dana," he said, voice steady, "if you walk out that door tonight, we both know what it means." She looked at him. For half a second, something flickered in her eyes. Then it was gone. "I'm not doing this. I'll be back later." "No," he replied. "Don't bother." She left anyway. And just like that, the silence came, loud, cold, suffocating. Benjamin sat back down. Didn't eat. Didn't speak. Just stared at her untouched glass across the table like it was a ghost. At 9:16 p.m., her first message came. "Made it. Just drinks. Don't wait up." At 10:30 p.m., he played guitar, if you can believe it. Total throwback. Kind of funny. Midnight. "Still here. It's loud. Talk tomorrow." He didn't reply. Instead, Benjamin drove. Aimless. Hollow. Ended up parked outside the Hound's Den, a local dive bar he hadn't stepped foot in since college. He walked inside. Dim lights. Pool table scratched to hell. Smell of old whiskey and desperation. And there she was. Not Dana, but Isla. She was perched at the far corner of the bar, sipping from a black-rimmed glass like it was holding back the weight of her world. Her hair was pulled back, face tired but striking, the kind of woman who carried pain like a tattoo she didn't talk about. Their eyes met, and something shifted. "You look like you just buried something important," she said. "Something like that," Benjamin replied, sitting beside her. She nodded. "Want to talk about it?" He shook his head. "No, but I wouldn't mind forgetting." And just like that, he did. Not through her body. Not yet. But in the conversation. In the way she listened. In the way she didn't flinch when he told her Dana had left halfway through dinner to go see someone else. In the way her eyes didn't pity him, just understood. At 3:47 a.m., Benjamin finally returned home. Dana's car was in the driveway. Her heels were tossed by the door. He didn't go to the master bedroom. He slept in the guest room. Not out of anger, but because something inside him had died quietly hours ago, and he knew Dana never even noticed. By morning, the house reeked of forced normalcy. Dana moved through the kitchen like nothing had happened, humming under her breath as she made coffee, cracked eggs, even dropped toast in the slot like the sound of sizzling butter could cover the betrayal now carved between them. Benjamin stood silently in the hallway, watching her silhouette, her disheveled bun, the pajama shirt she hadn't worn in months, the one she used to wear when she cared. She didn't know he was there until she turned. "Oh, hey," she said, like it was any other morning. He didn't reply, just stared. "I made coffee," she offered. Still, he didn't move. Her face twitched, just enough. "Ben, I know it looks bad, but it wasn't." "You don't have to lie," he interrupted. "I'm not." "You are," he said, stepping into the kitchen. "You were there with him, Dana. Don't insult me with crumbs when I watch you leave the whole damn loaf behind." She winced. It was just a night. Nothing happened. Benjamin leaned against the counter, arms crossed. "You keep saying that like it makes you innocent. But you don't get to weaponize your loneliness and act like it's a hall pass." Tears rimmed her eyes, but he didn't move to console her. He just stared, calm, detached, the kind of cold that comes after the storm has passed, and nothing was left to flood. "I didn't sleep with him," she whispered. "I swear." "That's not what breaks me, Dana," he said, voice flat. "It's that you wanted to." She didn't reply, and that silence, it was louder than any admission. Over the next 3 days, the house became a minefield of non-conversations. She tried. Left him sticky notes. "Eat the lunch I packed. Hope your meeting goes well." Even wore his favorite scent once, the one with hints of amber and bergamot. He walked right past her. By Friday, she stopped trying. And by Saturday, Isla answered his text with a location and a time. They met again. This time, at a small restaurant with dim lighting and too much red wine. He opened up more. Told her how Dana hadn't even looked back. How he had given everything. Faithfully. Foolishly. Only to become a background character in his own marriage. "You ever wonder how people fall out of love?" he asked, swirling his glass. "No," Isla said, eyes steady. "I wonder how they stop respecting each other. Because that's what makes the love rot." That hit him harder than any truth he'd heard. When he got home, Dana was on the couch, watching some reality show, volume too loud, trying to drown her guilt in someone else's scripted drama. "You're late," she said without looking. "Not late enough," he replied, hanging up his coat. "You're just going to keep punishing me?" "No," he said. "I'm preparing for the part where I stop being punished." She turned the TV off slowly. "I get it. You're mad. But this, you seeing someone else." Benjamin blinked. "Excuse me." She stood, folding her arms. "I saw your texts. You left your phone on the counter." His jaw tightened. "You went through my phone. You left it open. You searched it." She didn't answer. "Wow," he muttered. "You kiss your coworker behind my back, and I'm the one on trial. That's not fair." "What isn't?" "The part where I finally stopped sitting in a burning house, waiting for you to smell the smoke." "I made a mistake." "No," Benjamin snapped. "You made a choice." She collapsed onto the couch, face buried in her hands. "I didn't plan it. And yet," he said bitterly, "you were dressed for it." That night, he didn't sleep in the guest room. He didn't sleep at all. He sat in the garage, staring at the prenup he hadn't read in years. The one Dana insisted was just a formality back then. Turns out, he owned everything. The house, the accounts, even the car she drove to cheat on him. And in that garage, under the pale buzz of a flickering light bulb, Benjamin felt it, the click of something dark and final settling inside him. The next day, he met with a lawyer, just to explore options. The lawyer reviewed the documents, looked up, and said, "You're in a very advantageous position, Mr. Hartley. If you wanted to end this, it'd be clean." Benjamin didn't reply right away. He just smiled. It happened on a Tuesday. The sky was clear. The coffee shop on 4th Street smelled like burnt espresso and regret. Benjamin was about to head home when a message came through, a name he hadn't seen in years. Travis Morton, Dana's college friend, the one who always hovered too close to her past. 6:42 p.m. "Ben, this is awkward, but I saw something at Sam's party last week. You should know, Dana and Sam weren't just talking." Benjamin read the message twice, then a third time. They were alone in the kitchen for a while. Lights dimmed. "I left early, but man, I saw them kiss." A surge of stillness overtook Benjamin. Not anger, not disbelief, just cold, precise clarity. He didn't reply. He didn't need to. He finally knew. The lie Dana had clung to for weeks had collapsed under its own weight. The stolen kisses, the slurred didn't mean anything. The slippery half-truths. He saw through it all now. He had let her explain, deny, deflect, and now she'd run out of places to hide. When he walked through the door that evening, Dana was standing in front of the mirror in their hallway, applying lip balm, pretending to be the woman he used to love. She looked up, startled. "You're early." Benjamin dropped his keys on the counter. "Am I interrupting something?" Her brow furrowed. "No. Why would you say that?" He walked into the kitchen, opened the fridge, grabbed a bottle of water, and twisted it open with calm, almost surgical precision. Then turned to her. "How was the party?" She blinked. "Ben, we talked about this." "No," he said. "You talked. I listened." "Can we not do this again?" She sighed. "I told you. Nothing happened." "Really?" he said coolly. "Because Travis said something different." Her face went pale. It happened in a second. Blood drained. Shoulders stiffened. The subtle flinch of someone just punched in the soul. "What?" she croaked. "He saw you. In the kitchen. With Sam." He paused, let it burn. "He saw you kiss him." Dana's lips parted, but no sound came. For a moment, her eyes flicked, searching for some lie she could cling to, some alternate truth to throw between them like a smokescreen. But there was nothing left to invent. "I was drunk," she whispered. "So, was I the night I watched you walk out like I was furniture?" "It didn't mean anything," she cried. "That's what makes it worse," he snapped. "You destroyed us for something that didn't even matter to you." The silence that followed was thunderous. She sat on the edge of the couch, trembling. "So what now?" Benjamin walked calmly to his office, pulled out a folder from the drawer, and returned. "This," he said, placing it on the coffee table. Dana stared at it. Her hands hovered like the folder might bite. "Divorce. Consequences," he said flatly. I thought you were going to fight for us," she whispered, eyes swimming. "I did," he said, "but I was fighting alone." Dana began to weep, but Benjamin didn't move. He didn't hold her, didn't flinch. Instead, he watched as the truth finally settled on her shoulders like a sentence she couldn't appeal. "I can change," she said suddenly, desperately. "We can fix this." He shook his head slowly. "We can't fix something you broke on purpose." That night, he didn't sleep in the guest room. He stayed at Islas, and for the first time in months, he didn't wake up feeling like he'd lost. He woke up feeling like he'd started over. The house was quiet when Dana left. Not the kind of quiet that invited peace, but the kind that screamed you were no longer welcome. She didn't pack heavily, just enough for a few days. A suitcase, a charger, her favorite hoodie, the one Benjamin used to wear when they curled up for movie nights that now felt like hallucinations from another life. She didn't even ask if she could stay at her sister's. She just texted, "I'm staying at Claire's for a while." Benjamin didn't respond. She lingered in the doorway, clutching the suitcase handle like it might pull her back into a life she had already set on fire. "I need space," she murmured. Benjamin's voice, flat and distant, echoed down the hallway. "You've had all the space in the world, Dana. Now you'll have the rest." Her eyes brimmed. She waited for a sign, something. A flicker of anger, hurt, longing. But Benjamin gave her nothing. He stood tall, composed, undeniably done. She left, and Benjamin locked the door behind her. Not out of cruelty, out of finality. The revenge wasn't explosive. It wasn't fireworks or screaming matches or public humiliation. It was methodical, calculated, and quiet. Within 48 hours, Benjamin changed the locks, canceled her access to all shared cards, called the bank and transferred every liquid asset to his protected business account, sold the car under his name, the one she drove, and replaced it with one Dana once called embarrassingly modest. And then, the final blow, he pulled up the prenup and executed every clause that protected him, his investments, his savings, even the home. Everything. All by the book. All legal. All irreversible. Dana was left with her clothes, some jewelry, and a studio apartment lease her friend Claire offered out of pity. But the most brutal part? No one defended her. Because Benjamin never told his side. He didn't post online, didn't vent to friends, didn't gossip. He let her story spread. And when people asked why Dana had moved out, why Benjamin was suddenly meeting someone new, why he looked lighter, he just smiled and said, "Some storms are better faced alone." That silence, that grace, it broke her more than screaming ever could. She texted again and again, "Dana, I miss you. I made a mistake. Can we talk?" It wasn't worth it. He meant nothing. I was confused. I need closure, Ben. Please. Just one conversation. Benjamin never replied. because that chapter had closed. But not everyone was silent. One evening, as he sat at the corner table of a cozy wine bar with Isla, a mutual acquaintance walked in. Lydia, someone Dana had known since college. She paused at their table, shocked. Benjamin, she asked. Oh my God, you look. He stood, shook her hand. Lydia, wow, it's been forever. Her eyes darted to Isla, who smiled warmly but confidently, owning her space without needing to say a word. Lydia forced a smile. I didn't realize you moved on. I moved forward, Benjamin said gently. Hope you're well. And just like that, Lydia left. By morning, the story was out. Not Benjamin's version. Hers. Dana's silence had become her own noose. Friends distanced themselves. Her cousin canceled plans. Co-workers stopped sharing lunch. No one condemned her. They just stopped caring. The woman who once thrived on social circles now sat alone in them, her own reputation unraveling one whisper at a time. And Benjamin? He just lived, laughed with Isla, traveled on weekends, started sketching again, something he hadn't done in years. He didn't need revenge. He became the revenge, by building a life she could no longer touch. 2 months passed. Dana hadn't seen Benjamin since the day she left with her suitcase, and the hope that absence would make him miss her. He didn't. Not publicly. Not privately. She checked his social media from a fake account every night, hoping for signs, regret, nostalgia, even a quote that hinted he was still bleeding. But he wasn't. He looked radiant. There were photos now of Isla walking beside him through open-air galleries, her hand casually resting on his forearm, of sunsets with wine glasses, of smiles that weren't forced, of a man reborn. And then came the final crack. She heard from a mutual friend that Benjamin had taken a short trip to Vermont with Isla, a romantic cabin, just the two of them. Someone even posted a story, Benjamin helping Isla into the car, laughing like he hadn't in years. It felt like acid to Dana's chest. She stared at her studio apartment, the leaking faucet, the half-unpacked boxes, the leftovers going stale in the fridge, and she realized something she had buried deep beneath her pride. She had traded a marriage for a moment, and now she had neither. That night, she showed up unannounced, not to beg, just to see. Benjamin opened the door wearing a fitted black t-shirt, paint on his fingers, and calm in his eyes. He didn't look shocked. Dana, he said, didn't expect you. I know, she replied. Can I come in? No. That single word hung like a sentence in the air. She flinched. I heard about Vermont, she tried. He raised a brow. You keeping tabs on me? No, she whispered. Yes, maybe. I don't know. He sighed. Why are you here? I had to see if it was true, if you'd really moved on. He nodded slowly. I have. Dana took a step forward. I thought maybe after everything, maybe we still had something left. Benjamin looked at her, and in that moment, she realized what had truly changed. Not his status, not his new relationship, but him. He was no longer the man who waited by the door, no longer the man who asked for permission to be respected, no longer the man who measured his worth by her validation. He had outgrown the version of himself that needed her, and she had shrunk into someone even she couldn't recognize. You replaced me, she said, her voice cracking. No, Benjamin said gently. You replaced yourself. I just filled the space you left behind. Dana's face twisted. I thought you'd fight. I did, he replied, until I realized I was the only one in the ring. Her eyes welled up. I was scared. I thought I was missing something. And did you find it? He asked. She shook her head. He used me. I know, Benjamin said. Because men like him don't build homes, they break them. A heavy pause settled. I miss you, she whispered. I don't, he said. The honesty didn't sting. It shattered. Her bottom lip trembled. Do you love her? Elena, he asked, then corrected himself. Isla. She nodded. I respect her, he said. She saw me when you looked away. She listened when you lied. And more than that, she never made me question my worth. Dana's face crumpled. I wish I could take it back, she whispered. So do I, he said. But you can't. She stood there for a moment longer, trying to swallow what pride she had left. Then she nodded slowly. No dramatic goodbye, he asked. She offered a bitter smile. You already gave me one. And she turned, walked down the steps, and disappeared around the corner. Benjamin closed the door. Not with anger. Not with glee. Just peace. That night, he sat beside Isla on the couch, sipping tea, sketchbook resting on his lap. She leaned her head on his shoulder. Everything okay? He smiled. Yeah, just said goodbye to a ghost. She nodded, eyes closed, trusting him without needing to ask. He kissed her temple. And for the first time in years, Benjamin didn't feel like a survivor of his own story. He felt like the author.